Thank you all very, very much. Thank you all for being here this evening. And this is going to be, I believe, the only presentation that is not intended for audience members. And you'll see what I mean in a moment. My presentation this evening is entitled Occult Mockery of Police and Military Personnel. And this is who I am speaking to. Okay, the audience will get much from understanding this knowledge, but I am directing this to the police and the military of every country on this planet. George Orwell, author of the book 1984, said, "If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear." So this information may be a bit unpleasant, but I would hope that most will not go into this modality, which I call emotional mind control. And this is responding to information which makes one feel unpleasant by rejecting the veracity of that information. And that is a very, very powerful form of mind control. Because something may make you feel bad does not mean that it is untrue. Kierkegaard said there are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to accept what is true. There is such a thing as truth. It exists. We can come to know it. And these are the only two reasons that humanity suffers, that we undergo self-inflicted suffering, is because we either believe that which is not true or we refuse to accept that which is. This information is occult. It has been occulted from the view of most people. Occult, as Jan Irvin said earlier, comes from the Latin verb occultare, meaning to hide, to conceal, or to keep secret. It is simply hidden information. Hidden knowledge is what ultimately keeps this planet under control, under mind control. And it works through two basic methodologies. The first is hierarchy, or a chain of command. The second is compartmentalization, meaning each area being kept distinct from the other, and the other area not knowing what the other one is actually doing, so you don't see the interlocking pieces of the agenda. Occultists are the rulers of this planet, plain and simple. And they are dark occultists. And I have first-hand experience, so I'm qualified to speak on this topic because I was directly involved in the dark occult. I was a priest in the organization known as the Church of Satan for years. And admittedly, this is the Boy Scouts of the satanic hierarchy, at best. At best. It is a psychological profiling system in order to take people up who display psychopathic tendencies for grooming into higher areas of the dark occult. Anton LaVey himself appointed me priest on March 19th. Okay, a very significant occult date. This is a letter from his wife, Blanche Barton, and you'll notice that it says Mark Rokar. That is indeed me. There is my home address on the letter. That is a demon name which I took as part of my occult, dark occult initiation. It is a cat demon from the Gnostic book, the Pistis Sophia. Okay? I took it because I am born under the sign of Leo. Blanche Barton said, "Dear Mr. Rokar, Dr. LaVey has been favorably impressed with the skill and mastery you have shown in various opportunities to represent the Church of Satan and Satanism in general. You have proven yourself to be magically and materially adept. Therefore, he felt it was high time you were granted the title of priest in recognition of your dedication, knowledge, and ability. May the fires of hell continue to strengthen and inspire you. Hail Satan, Blanche Barton." Hidden knowledge controls the world, and that is what the dark occult are using against us as a weapon. What is this hidden knowledge? Ultimately, it is knowledge about nothing else at the deepest core fundamental level but the knowledge of who we are. Our consciousness and how it works. And these are the three modalities of consciousness. It has been called mind, body, spirit. But it is indeed our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. That is the true Holy Trinity of consciousness. And it is all about us. That is the knowledge that they have occulted from sight. It is also the knowledge of how there are physiological expressions for these three modalities of consciousness, particularly in the brain. We have three complexes in the human brain. The first is the reptile complex, the R complex. This is responsible basically for controlling our instincts, our basic survival mechanisms, and motor skills. It is also called the brain stem, and this is the lowest consciousness part of the brain. We have a midbrain, which helps us to experience emotion, and that is known as the limbic brain, or simply the mammalian brain. And then we have a higher brain, a human brain, the human neocortex, which is ultimately responsible for higher order thought functions when it is operating in a state of balance. If it is not, we revert into either emotional mind control through the limbic system or into male dominator behavior through the R complex. This part of the brain, the neocortex, the higher brain, the human brain, needs to be balanced. That is ultimately what should be our ultimate goal in life, is to bring those two hemispheres, the masculine solar left brain hemisphere and the feminine lunar right brain hemisphere, into a state of harmony and balance, so that it opens the third eye, the human pineal gland, and it balances the brain. And I've displayed the symbols of the chalice and the jade coming together to form the blazing star, or the all-seeing eye, to represent that concept. This is what happens when the human brain is in a state of balance on the left, the holistically balanced brain. When it is in a state of imbalance, the neocortex shows a pattern like that, and that is electrical deadness of the brain. Generally, that form of electrical deadness, of synaptic damage from chronic left brain hemispherical imbalance, is caused by high levels of adrenaline pumping through the central nervous system. Well, when we think about high levels of adrenaline, that brings us to these two groups of people. There is a lot of physical brain damage that has taken place. Make no mistake about it. And I'm going to talk about how the dark occultists who own these people, own them, feel about them, or as you will see, don't feel anything at all about them. As a matter of fact, they are the most mocked individuals on the planet. If you think that they have contempt for the general sleeping public, you haven't seen anything. They call the general public, dark occultists, they have two terms for people that I've only ever really heard them use. They call the general sleeping public the dead. The dead is what they refer to the public. Because their rationale for this is, if you do not have activated thoughts, activated emotions, and activated actions, therefore you are completely unconscious and therefore not truly alive. And therefore, we may treat you however we wish to treat you. If you think that's bad on how to think about someone, another living being, wait till you hear what they call these individuals. They call these individuals, and from first-hand experience, from their lips to my ears, they call these people our dogs. That is their name for the military and police. Our dogs. I have also sometimes heard them referred to simply as our pets. This is what they actually think of these people, as human pets. Human pets is how the dark occultists view the military and the police. And that can make you as uncomfortable as it gets, but that is the case. That is the truth.